More and more women in Papua New Guinea have suffered brutal violence after being accused of witchcraft. It is believed that the number of accusations has risen because of the COVID-19 spike. At least 5 women have been tortured, and 1 was burned to death. These women were originally accused as early as March in 2021, the most recent accusation being in early May. Mary Kapari was the latest one accused, and she was tied up and burned alive after a small boy in her village passed away.
The jury found former Minneapolis police officer Derek Kaufman guilty on all the counts he faced over the death of George Floyd. This trial has been one of the most closely watched cases in recent memory. Their trial was pushed back to March of 2022.
Elizabeth Johnson, an accused witch from Salem, is finally getting her name cleared. Senator Diana DeZoglio brought the case to court after hearing about it from research done by middle schoolers at North Andover Middle School.
Rebecca Nurse, one of the oldest women killed for accusation of being a witch at the age 71, would have turned 400 if she was still alive. And her body lays at a museum, and she was deaf and bedridden, but she was executed despite her neighbors' pleas. And the first time that they pleaded for her to be let go, it worked, and she was released. But the second time that she was accused, it didn't work, and she was executed.
Crowds of costume people packed downtown Salem, Massachusetts on Halloween, where the excitement at being able to celebrate the holiday was a lot of fun. Last year, the celebrations were cut back dramatically due to the coronavirus, and a series of regulations were put in place to bring the events back this year.
This article talked about the science behind ergot fungus, which was thought to be one of the causes of the Salem witch trials. In 1976, Linda Corporeal became the first to argue that the warm and wet conditions of 1692 were perfect conditions for the fungus to grow. The fungus resembles grain when it grows on the crop, which is typically rye. And until the 1800s, farmers continued putting it through the mill, not realizing it was a toxic fungus. Once ingested, convulsive ergotism causes fits, hallucinations, mania, and delirium, as well as necrotic tissue.
Texas death row inmate named Rodney Reed was convicted of murdering a grocery store clerk 25 years ago. He pled innocent, but was eventually considered guilty of murder. This year, he tried for a second trial to not be executed on death row, and he was rejected, and there's amassing public support to give him another fair trial without racial injustice. His original death date was November 19th, 2019, and he was now still alive